Well, the Biden administration is happy to place all the blame on Congress for doing nothing about the border. But that's just not true. The House today passing the Secure the Border Act, which would resume border wall construction and reinstate Trump's Remain in Mexico policy. But of course, it's the federal government. It's not a perfect fix. 2 Republicans voted against the bill. The major reason being the proposed national E-Verify system. If you've read about that, you know how incredibly problematic it can be. It requires employers to check workers' citizenship status. My next guest says this would give the federal government way too much power over your privacy and private business, even if you're here working legally. So why is a national E-Verify system a threat to your personal freedom? Joining me now to discuss with all the answers, Kentucky Republican Congressman Thomas Massie. All right, let's get sassy with this, because you're absolutely right about E-Verify, and I'm curious why a lot of Republicans think that this is the great Band-Aid.
Well, first of all, thanks for having me on, Kennedy. It's been so long, I was starting to wonder if you were all tuckered out.
Okay. All right, Congressman.
No, the problem with this E-Verify is it's like the Patriot Act or any other background check system, the no-fly list. I'm sure everybody's got a good reason when they put it in place, but if you give the federal government more power, they're going to abuse it. And look what's happened over the last 3 years. How did Joe Biden force millions of people to get vaccinated? Through their employment. That was his enforcement mechanism. He took a bureaucracy that already existed, which was OSHA, and said, we're going to use OSHA to make sure that employers force their employees to get vaccinated. So maybe we shouldn't call this E-Verify. In the next pandemic, it may become V-Verify.
Yes, absolutely. And frankly, I'm surprised that Republicans who've talked about limiting the power of the federal government and the ones who were up in arms about the vaccine mandates, especially the ones that were foisted on employers with more than 100 workers, how they're fine with E-Verify when, you know, you can use E-Verify with someone else's credentials and, you know, work legally. You can also have the same name as another person, and you are told that you can't work even though you are in the country legally. You know, there are a number of ways that this system can go sideways. I'm just surprised that formerly limited government Republicans, you know, this is their ultimate fix.
You know, I'm on the weaponization committee. Why would we give the federal government another weapon in their arsenal? And you're completely right. This isn't going to stop the magnet of people coming here. First of all, they actually amended this bill. I wanted to amend it to apply to welfare recipients, not workers. But they said that wasn't germane, and they didn't allow my amendment. But they did amend it to indicate to the people who were nervous about the supply of ag labor, yes, to ameliorate their concerns. They added an amendment at the last second yesterday that said, well, when we enforce this, we really need to look at whether it should apply to ag workers or not. So they're basically signaling that this wouldn't apply to ag workers. And like you said, there's basically what this would do, in addition to giving the federal government too much power, is it would raise the price of fake credentials. Because in the states that have tried this, that's what's happened. People still get a fake birth certificate and a social security number and go to work.
Yeah, they figure out ways. You know, you could have 1,000 people using the same social security card. It's like, good job, color printer. But why not fix the guest worker program? You know, why not figure out how many guest workers you need and give people visas based on that so they can come and go legally? Because guess what? A lot of people want to do that. Not everyone who comes here is a terrorist. Some of them are very hardworking people, and they deserve a system that allows them to fill the gaps that we have in our labor market and go back to their families. But God forbid we be all American, Congressman Massie.
Speaking of American, this turns the American promise upside down. You are guilty, Kennedy, until proven innocent under E-Verify. You have to prove you're not an illegal alien. You have to prove you're not an illegal alien to get a job after this passes in all 50 states.
All right. Well, Congressman Massie, I'm glad that you're a big naysayer in Congress, because we need more of that. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks, Candy.
Absolutely. Coming up, we're